Derby County take the gong for the Premier League's worst ever side, racking up so few points in the 2007-8 season, they may indeed hold this unwanted record forever. Collecting a measly 11 points, they were effectively rams to the slaughter before a ball had even been kicked that season. So why were Derby so wonderfully terrible? For this, let's take the DeLorean back to the summer of 2006. Scotsman Billy Davies had just been appointed manager of Derby County, a team who'd just avoided relegation to England's third tier and had recently been saved from financial ruin by local businessman Peter Gadsby. The brief for the season was simple: consolidate a mid-table position if possible and build from there. But when the Rams charged up the championship table and unexpectedly gained promotion to the Premier League via the playoffs, nobody was quite ready nor prepared for what awaited them in football's promised land. When you have an aging mid-level championship squad needing to punch way above their weight, you need total cohesion and harmony amongst the group, paired with ambition in the transfer market, to have even a fighting chance of staying in the league. So when issues over promotion bonuses caused fractures amongst the players, and quality signings requested by the gaffer were turned down for bargain bucket alternatives, Derby fans started to get the sense that there would be a long road ahead. Reflecting on the summer transfer window, Davies remarked, "If I say that there are 6 or 7 options, and options 1 to 4 are players who'll help to make Derby a competitive Premier League club, but the owners opt to bring in options 5, 6 and 7, they can't complain too much about the outcome. You can't spend only 10 million in the Premier League and expect to compete." Fans of the Rams felt cautiously optimistic following their draw with Portsmouth on the season's opener. Unfortunately, this would be a rare high point in an otherwise dismal start to the season. Derby were 7 shades of terrible, and by the time Liverpool thumped them 6-0 on September 1st, bookmaker Paddy Power paid out early on relegation bets. Derby had played just 5 games. With the writing seemingly on the wall, they managed to flip the script in their next match against Newcastle. 39 minutes into his debut, Kenny Miller smashed one in from 30 yards out, sealing a 1-0 victory for the Rams. With an additional 3 points on the board and momentarily lifted off bottom spot, could Derby dare to dream? The answer is an emphatic no. Immediately reverting to type, Derby made the foot of the table their home, drawing a game here and there, but ultimately unable to truly compete with their Premier League compadres. By November, Derby were a laughingstock. New chairman Adam Pearson sought American investment, but when it emerged the consortium included Walt Disney's nephew Roy, the headlines wrote themselves: Mickey Mouse Club, Disney in Derby takeover talks. The new power brokers at the club were keen to bring in their own man, and after a 6-game goalless run, Davies got the boot and was replaced by Paul Jewell. However, even for a manager with a decent reputation as a survival specialist, having kept up Bradford and guided Wigan to safety, it seemed like an odd decision to join Derby. If their lowly position, dreadful results and deficient squad wasn't enough of a warning, Jewell was actually phoned up by Everton manager David Moyes, advising him not to go, saying, "We played them a couple of weeks ago, they won't win another game this season." Jewell laughed it off, confident that with some new recruits in the January transfer window, paired with a dollop of tough love, he'd be able to raise spirits and shepherd the Rams to safety. After all, they were only 6 points adrift. Unfortunately, the chasm would continue to widen and widen and widen further. A whole bunch of veterans were brought in to bolster the squad with much-needed Premier League experience, but in reality, their impact was negligible. As the months rolled on, and with the team seldom able to score, Jewell's personal life proved far more prolific, albeit a 6-year-old sex tape surfacing in the news of the world wasn't quite the highlights reel he'd have hoped for. His week went from bad to worse 6 days later, when the Rams' relegation was confirmed. Derby had made Premier League history, becoming the first team to go down in March, but their true record-breaking would be saved until the end of the season, as they limped to a historic low of 11 points. All in all, Derby lost 29 times, scored only 20 goals, and finished the season with a whopping goal difference of -69. Moreover, they managed to become only the second club in the Football League's 120-year history to go through a season winning just 1 match, joining the Loughborough team from the 1899-1900 season. Derby's catastrophic season became a warning tale, a punchline, a record that grows more unbreakable with every passing year. 11 points, almost certainly forever the worst. More recently, Southampton did their level best to seize Derby County's record in the 2024-25 season. So let's take a trip down to the south coast and see how it all fell apart for the Saints. Having dropped into the Championship 2 seasons prior, Southampton bounced back to the Prem at the first time of asking, beating Leeds United in the playoff final to secure their promotion. Manager Russell Martin saw his stock rise exponentially, owed to his expansive brand of football as well as his superb snub of former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, with the media painting him as the lefty liberal antidote to the raft of ageing proper football men who were no longer in vogue. So keen to keep hold of him, the Southampton board gave the gaffer a handsome contract extension and a financial war chest to attack the summer transfer window. Spending $100 million or so, paired with additional free and loan recruits, Martin had everything he needed to attack the league. And attack it he did. Unfortunately, the free-flowing football that had wowed onlookers in the Championship rapidly became a liability in the Prem. The league itself was in the process of transitioning away from tiki-taka imitation tactics. Teams like Arsenal were experiencing success from employing a more direct, vertical style of play, a remedy of sorts to combat the relentless passing game of Pep Guardiola disciples. Dogmatic to a fault, Martin had Southampton pass, and pass some more, so much so that their pass completion rate was second only to Manchester City. But unlike City, the Saints neither had the cutting edge to make their possession count, nor the requisite strength and quality to eliminate costly errors from their game. Losing 13 of his first 16 games and sporting a goal difference of -25, Russell Martin's era ended in humiliation, getting banged up by Spurs live on TV, despicably losing 5-0 by half-time. Bottom of the table and 9 points from safety, the powers that be at Southampton thought it best to hire Ivan Jurić right off the back of his disastrous reign at Roma. This was a very bad appointment. 3 games into his first managerial role outside of Italy, the Saints suffered their second 5-0 shellacking at home, this time at the hands of Brentford. Their woeful form would continue, and the St Mary's faithful started to pray for a divine intervention to save them. But their prayers went unanswered. Rooted to the bottom of the table, Spurs would inadvertently claim their second managerial scalp of the season. This time, losing 3-1 in North London, Southampton set an unwanted record, becoming the first team to be relegated from the Premier League with 7 games remaining. Needless to say, after adding only 4 points to their tally and breaking the record for the league's earliest relegation, Jurić was relieved of his duties after only 108 days in charge, sporting a points per game ratio of 0.29, an amount somehow even lower than Martin's pitiful 0.31. With 10 points on the board, under-21's coach, Simon Rusk, was tasked with one thing and one thing only: get more points than Derby. Thankfully, Rusk obliged, and Southampton limped to another 2 draws before their dreadful season was brought to a close. Finishing with an abominable 12 points, they avoided becoming the Premier League's worst ever team, but did pick up the gong for losing the most matches in a 38-game season. Alongside Derby, Southampton will go down in history as one of the most appalling sides to have graced the Prem, who, just like the Rams, barely scraped into double-digit points. Thanks so much for watching. Please do like, comment, and share if you enjoyed this one, and stick around for the next video on the Football Documentary channel.